you everyone and welcome back to our channel. In today's video I will be sharing some basic tips you will need to know before traveling to the Philippines. My name is Matt and I have been traveling the world since around 2008. Have visited the Philippines on several occasions and lived for 1 year while visiting multiple tourist and off-the-grid places. So first things first, let's talk about safety. Even though the Philippines is one of the safest and friendliest countries I've visited, there are some recommendations to consider. For example, like avoiding certain areas at nighttime in Manila, like the cemetery area and the slums like Tondo in Metro Manila, and using common sense and not drawing too much attention to yourself is always recommended. Even though I never encountered any dangerous situations and people are usually super friendly, you might want to avoid the west side of Mindanao Island. This area is known for not being so hospitable towards tourists and is known for some kidnappings happening to internationals. It's a Muslim area where culture can differ a little bit from the rest of the country. That said, the eastern side is also the home of Davao City, one of the safest areas in the Philippines. Locals say because it's home of former President Duterte. I did hear some stories of tourists being planted with bullets in their luggage to be asked for money later on. If this happens to you, keep calm, do not go to a private sector. Take any recording devices that you might have with you, like your phone or your GoPro, and start recording straight away. And ask them to inspect the luggage right there in front of you and in front of everybody else that you can use as witnesses later on. Also, ask to be supervised by a senior officer. I did encounter a couple of times traffic inspectors trying to ask for money over supposed traffic infractions. Again, try to record the situation, ask for the written ticket and for directions to where you need to pay. Since I like to explore the places on my own and I love driving and the feeling of freedom while exploring, I usually rent some sort of vehicle, generally cars or scooters. I never encountered any dodgy situations or any potential scams. Again, use common sense, and if your gut is telling you something is off, listen to it. Never leave your passport or any sort of important documentation behind. Instead, you can offer to take a picture of your passport, for example, and send it to their WhatsApp. What I do when I rent a vehicle in the Philippines is to ask for recommendations from locals. Like for example, at the hostels or Airbnb I might be staying at, as it's usually cheaper and more flexible than the main agencies. Another option is to go on Facebook or Google and search for car rentals or scooter rentals in the area you are, for example. Most Google websites will link you to their Facebook page. Looks a little bit dodgy in the beginning, but that's how they do things over here. Read reviews, contact them, ask for prices, and don't forget to inspect the car before taking it. I always make videos and take pictures to avoid any issues upon return. I look for scratches, tire down areas, dirtiness, and petrol level, as you have to return with the same amount of petrol. After that, make sure you always sign a contract with specification of your rental agreement and take a picture. Ask all the questions you need to ask them up front and make sure it is written within the agreement, like return time and date, petrol level, if the car has any scratches, and ask them where the paperwork is and where the spare tire is. So now let's talk about the country itself. The Philippines is an archipelago of 7,600 islands in Southeast Asia, located in the Western Pacific Ocean, bordered by Taiwan, Vietnam, Borneo and Indonesia. It has a tropical climate with 2 seasons, dry December to May and wet June to November. The language is a beautiful unique blend of English, Spanish and local dialects. Officially it's Filipino based on Tagalog and English. The main difference I encounter in the Philippines from other Southeast Asian countries is that they all speak at least a minimum level of English, as the language is taught in school. So never mind if you're in a remote area or a touristic spot, you will always find it easier to communicate in English than some other Southeast Asian countries. And on a personal note, for being from Argentina, we share some cultural similarities, as both countries were colonized and occupied by the Spanish. There's even a northern dialect known as Chabacano that is almost completely Spanish. If they speak slowly, I could easily understand them. So now let's talk about visas. The country is super touristic friendly, being tourism one of their economic pillars. Most likely, you will be entitled to a 30-day tourist visa upon arrival. You might be asked for a return ticket and a medical insurance upon arrival as well. And after that, you can also ask for an extension at the local Bureau of Immigration from 1 to up to 6 months, I think, with a starting cost of 3,000 pesos. And I will leave also the link in the description below in case you would like to dig deeper into visas and extension. The extension process is super simple. Just approach your closest Bureau of Immigration and ask them for an extension. They will be able to guide you on what type of extension you are eligible for and how much will cost. You most likely will be arriving into Manila airport. From this same airport, you can get a SIM card for around 10 US and get unlimited internet. I usually use Globe, which I will leave the link in the description below as well, in case you opt for that one. It also has an app that makes reloading super easy and straightforward. After you get your SIM card, you can order a Grab, that is like the local Uber, that is the most reliable mode of transportation, especially when just arriving into the country, and you can go to accommodation with them. Which leads me to the next topic, where to stay in Manila. I would recommend two areas, BGC or Makati. These are the financial districts of the city and the safest as well. Close enough to most of the attractions, surrounded by modern malls with cafes and restaurants. It's a little bit pricier than other areas, but it's a good starting point into the country, especially if it's your first time in a southeast country. Just for you to be prepared, some parts of the countries are prone to regular blackouts, that for some reason they call it brownouts here. Or there is not hot water or even no air conditioning. Some accommodations will also offer you options of a regular room, a fun room, or an air conditioning room. Keep in mind that for some reason, Google Maps will rarely show the exact location of the property. Always double check your destination address to avoid getting lost like I did several times. Electricity outlets typically accept two prolonged flat or round pins. I usually carry this one with me when I'm traveling around the world. The local currency is the Philippine peso, and as for 2025, its exchange rate is around 100 US for 5.5 thousand pesos. You might want to exchange cash once you arrive to Manila. Try not to exchange too much at the airport, as the exchange rates are usually higher, or you can withdraw cash in one of the many ATMs around the country. Keep in mind that they will charge around 250 to 300 pesos, that is around 5 US, for a service fee in each extraction. I usually withdraw 10,000 pesos, that's the max per ATM you can take. Most places and services will only accept cash, so it's always a good idea to carry some with you. You can expect to spend around 80 US per day as a mid-range traveler in the Philippines, and this will break down approximately between accommodation, that's around 30 to 60 US, food for around 10 to 20 US, transportation for around 10 to 20 US, activities, entertainment for around 10 to 20 US. Tips to save money. Travel through the shoulder season, March, May, September, November, for better rates. Book accommodation and flights in advance. Eat at local eateries rather than touristic restaurants. Use public transportation where safe and convenient. Look for package deals on tours and activities. Consider staying on less touristic islands for a more budget-friendly experience. As for traveling within the country, air tickets are super cheap if you buy them in advance, like way in advance. It could cost around 15 to 30 US or go up to 100 and 150 US for same day or even same week. So plan ahead to have the best value. Motorbike rentals could go for around 3 to 6 US depending on the area per day, and car rentals will go for around 12 to 25 US depending on the area and the model of the car per day as well. Ferries operate between islands, and in cities you can choose between jeepneys, tricycles, taxis or Grab. Okay guys, that's all for now. I hope this video was useful. If you have any question, leave them in the comments below and I will try my best to answer them all. I will also leave a detailed itinerary of the places that I love the most in the Philippines for you to check out. Thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one. Bye for now.